Monty Python's Contractual Obligation album is a recording released by Monty Python in 1980. It is a mixture of songs, new sketches and some re-recorded pre-Python work. As the title suggests, the album was put together to complete a contract with Charisma Records. At least one of the skits on the album predates the group itself, having been performed on the ITV series At Last, the 1948 show in 1967. Controversies. 2 tracks on the album caused controversy when first released. The lead track, Sit on My Face, was sung to the tune of Sing As We Go, a song made famous by Gracie Fields, and reportedly its inclusion led to legal threats against the Python team for copyright infringement over the melody. Nonetheless, the song was retained on the album and was later lip-synced by the troupe as the opening of Monty Python Live at the Hollywood Bowl. It was also performed by Eric Idle, Terry Jones, Trey Gilliam and Neil Innes at the the Memorial Concert for George Harrison, at the Royal Albert Hall in 2002. At the end of the song, the 4 performers turned around and mooned the audience. Farewell to John Denver, which contained a few bars of Eric Idle impersonating John Denver singing a parody of Annie's song, followed by the sound of the singer being strangled, was removed from subsequent pressings of the album on legal advice, and was replaced by an apology spoken by Terry Jones. Later CD releases of the album reinstated the John Denver track, but after Denver's death in a plane crash, the 2006 reissue reverted to Terry Jones' apology. Original advance print advertising by Charisma Records included the tagline, "Now a major lawsuit." Other versions, as noted above, some pressings of Contractual Obligation album omit the Farewell to John Denver track. The original UK vinyl pressing also contained an unintentionally out-of-sync mix on the song I'm So Worried, which was subsequently corrected. In the US there was no need to clear the John Denver parody, as parodies are covered under U.S. copyright law. The U.S. version of the album contains both Farewell to John Denver and the corrected version of I'm So Worried. A CD version was later released. 2 versions of the compact disc exist. The isolated CD release contains the U.S. version of the album, but the box set, the Instant Monty Python CD collection, uses the UK second edition of the album. 2 versions of Medical Love Song also exist. The longer version, which can be heard on the compilation CD Monty Python Sings, contains additional verses. This is also the case with the song Henry Kissinger. The original cassette version also has an additional track. Side 1 is several minutes shorter than Side 2. At the end of Side 1, Michael Palin states that there will be a tiresome gap before the tape ends. Several minutes of silence ensue, followed at the very end by Eric Idle stating that the gap was over and the tape may be turned to Side 2. The amended UK cassette release features an alternative message from Terry Jones at the end in place of the Michael Palin and Eric Idle messages. Like all the Emmy Monty Python albums, Contractual Obligation gained a special edition release in 2006 with bonus tracks included. However, these tracks do not contain new material and just consists of 2 interviews and demo versions of 2 songs. 2 bands drew the name from Toad the Wet Sprocket, an imaginary group featured in the Eric Idle monologue Rock Notes. The name had originally been featured in a parody of the Old Grey Whistle Test on Rutland Weekend Television in 1975. The first Toad the Wet Sprocket was a British heavy metal band of the 1970s, which released a few singles and appeared on the 1980 compilation album Metal for Mothers. The second Toad the Wet Sprocket was a longer-lived American alternative band of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Palin would later perform an impromptu rendition of Finland during an episode of his 1992 travelogue series Pole to Pole, in which he is shown traveling across the country. Finland would also be used as a song in the opening sequence of the Monty Python Broadway musical Spamalot. Track listing: Side 1, Sit on My Face, 044. Announcement 021. Henry Kissinger, 048. String 219. Never Be Rude to an Arab, 1 o'clock. I Like Chinese, 310. Bishop 233. Medical Love Song 209. Farewell to John Denver, 015. Finland 218. I'm So Worried, 318. End of Side 1 announcement, 529. Side 2, I Bet You They Won't Play This Song on the Radio, 054. Martyrdom of St. Victor, 141. Here Comes Another One, 158. Bookshop, 422. What John, 034. Rock Notes, 211. Muddy Knees, 210. Crocodile, 234. Decomposing Composes, 243. Bells, 222. Traffic Lights, 155. All Things Dull and Ugly, 128. A Scottish Farewell, 023. 2006 bonus tracks, Contractual Obligation, Terry Jones and Graham Chapman promotional interview, radio ad obligation promo, Medical Love Song, I'm So Worried. Performers: Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, Terry Jones, Michael Palin. Additional performers: Ollie Halsall, Mike Berry, The Fred Tomlinson Singers. Credits: Eric Idle, producer; Andre Jackman, assistant producer and chief engineer; Rob Bryant-Court, assistant engineer; John Duprez, musical production and arrangements; Basil Power, sleeve design; Fred Tomlinson, musical director of backing vocals; Kevin Hodge, mastering engineer. Jim Beach is credited as the lawyer. The Pythons Wrong. John Cleese and Marty Feldman performed the original version of Bookshop for At Last, the 1948 show. Another version of the sketch was later performed by Bob Hope on one of his mid-1980s TV specials for NBC. Sit on My Face and Never Be Rude to an Arab were performed as part of the film Monty Python Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Years later, Michael Palin was filmed singing a verse from Finland during an episode of his 1992 travelogue series Pole to Pole, during a segment in which he is shown traveling across that country. A heavily edited version of Finland is used as the opening song of the stage musical Spamalot, and it appeared in a new version as part of the Spam song in Monty Python Live. Awards.